Alright, Friday we cut this to length. We just cleaned it up so no one gets hurt. We ground the zinc. I think this is galvanized, or at least zinc plated. So we ground the zinc off the areas that we're going to weld. Did the bottom side, and we did the top side of that, right, the main tube. So we got that clamped down, and the thought is that we're going to tack weld in a couple places. We're going to tack weld in a couple places, and that's this one. And we're going to tack weld in a couple places to hold this together, and then we're going to reinforce clamp the tubing, because we don't want our tubing to bend this way, and we don't want it to bend this way, and we want this thing to be somewhat, mostly right. So that is lined up there. This is about the same distance. Yes, it is. Right, so we're pretty sure that the axle is perpendicular to the main tube within reason. Right, so now the next question is settings, right? So these pieces are 1/8 inch 125, but I think the tubing is 0.1. We're going to check that. And you know, I don't want a lot of warping, so I would err, I think, on the side of less heat than on more heat. So I will have to ponder. So survey says, see the light. So it's 0.1, which is what the spec said. That's how thick our tubing is. And so I plotted out. Wire speed versus thickness. So down here on the X, you know, we had 0.62, we had a spot for 0.90, I think we had 0.11 and 0.125. So we want 0.1. So I'm thinking, well, that's 50, so that's 225. I'm saying like 220. Thinking 220 for wire speed, and same thing for voltage. So 0.1 gets us to here, which is 18 volts. So 220 inches per minute at 18 volts is where I think I would like to weld that tubing. Yeah, I know you're supposed to go by the base metal, biggest base metal, whatever. I don't know. All I know is I don't want to burn. I don't want that tubing to warp. That kind of looks like a... What are we thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking, kind of looks like it's sitting on top. It looks like there's some fusion. And you see some fusion there. Here I could turn it up more, but I think once I get going and not just doing tack welds, I think it's gonna be all right. I like this one the best so far. And it looks like it's got fusion on both, but it was a pretty big weave pattern, or a moon weave pattern, because there is a, you know, there's a gap in there, right? So I need a pretty big weave pattern. This one, I didn't weave down enough. I was just up on top too much. But it looks like it has fusion on the top. Alright, so I'm going to clamp this up. I think I'm going to keep it like it is, but I'm going to do a big weave pattern. How about like